Hello, my fellow Windsor realtors. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to spend a little bit of time with you today. My name is Brian. For those of you that might not know me, Brian Price. I've been a realtor here in Windsor for, I want to say, 9 years now. Time flies by. And I wanted to share with you some of the things that I'm building out that I need a little bit of help with, because it might resonate with you to want to talk, have coffee sometime. So I have a different brain. I do have ADHD, let me just be perfectly clear. And my brain finds paths that other brains don't see. Let's put it that way. Creates opportunity. So one of the massive things in the real estate business is trying to figure out ways to get the phone to ring, to try to figure out ways, if you're sitting at a stoplight, for the person next to you to know that you're a realtor, because you don't know who they are and why they're here. They might be in town looking for a house. We don't know that part. They might not have a realtor yet if you're looking for buyers. And they might say, geez, I need to talk to that person. They're a realtor. How do we get out our message in our business that we have this business of real estate? And then one of the other challenges with getting a message out is that it's super freaking expensive. And our brokers of record here in town don't necessarily have any good solutions for that. They just say, go sell real estate, go talk to your top 100, go let everybody know that you're a realtor, go pass out cards and do birthday cards, all the same stuff that a Sun Life advisor is supposed to be doing. And as you guys know, Sun Life's advisors fail. Very, very of a high percentage of them fail because they can't figure out how to get the word out that they are a Sun Life representative. So the same things in that business model need to be done in the real estate model as well too. But the real estate model has all kinds of different paths in it. And there's nothing wrong with a specific path. Just as the life insurance business, you might go into group benefits and not ever sell a life insurance policy. You just might be a group benefits person. Same thing in real estate. So for me, 9 years in now, the business has become easier. And it does get easier if you just stay focused on it. That's where my brain has a little bit of a hard time. I can't just focus on one thing. I can do multiple things very, very well. And they all create revenue. So that's all good. When you own your own business, which is what a realtor is, it's a small business. You're a small business. You're an individual small business. Operating or renting your business inside of a brokerage. Think of it that way. Because that's really what you're doing. You have a broker of record that sits there and says, no, I don't want my business model to look that way, or no, I don't want this, or no, I don't want that. It might be perfectly compliant, but I don't want you doing that in my business. So why are you there? It's what I ran up against. I was wanting to do some things and I was given the approval. Go ahead, Brian. And then as soon as I launched it, Brian, you can't do that. So, but you approved it. And yeah, but we don't want our brand associated with that message. Oh, okay, great. I'll just take your brand off and put another brand in there, my own brand, because it's time to do that. And I have that option as a realtor now because business has changed. Legal requirements have changed. All of that has changed. You can now be your own person. Before you had to be in that broker of record landing spot. But after being on the real estate board here in the city of Windsor, and going to the Korea convention in Ottawa, I recognized right away as soon as I stepped into the room, and it was actually our president at the time had asked me, Brian, what do you think about the people in this room? What do you think about this room now that you're here? And I said, oh, hell, we've got a massive problem on our hands. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, look around the room. What do you see? And he looks around the room and he says, I don't know what I'm supposed to see. I said, you see a bunch of white-skinned people, mostly males, mostly rich, mostly with multiple franchises in real estate, holding back the minority from getting anywhere. The government of Canada will step into this room and will fix that at some point in time. And they did in Ontario. The Minister of Ontario stepped into the Ontario Real Estate Board and said, no longer can realtors be on the board. They can have a group that's part of a consulting part of the board, but the board must be made up of individuals across Ontario that look like Ontario. It's part of the reason we're losing our executive director. It's part of the reason. I'm going to step down. It's no longer fun to do this job because it is a lot more complicated now because we never fixed it before. And it's just a matter of time before the federal government steps into Korea and says, look, enough is enough. And yes, I was there for the election. And yes, there was one other skinned person running for an election spot on the Korea board. But they weren't voted for because everybody in the room kept voting for people that look like them. We're never going to fix that way. The government of Canada will have to step in there. And I say the government of Canada because Korea is the Canadian Real Estate Association. It's only the government that can step into that. The Ontario Real Estate Association, the government of Ontario stepped into it. So we'll see what happens over time. That's what my belief is. My belief is that the government of Canada is going to end up stepping into Korea at some point in time. It might take a little bit of time, or it might already be in the process of happening. I'm not sure. We'll find that out. At least I'm on video saying that's going to happen at some point in time. And the president of the association is like, I don't see why that's a problem, Bryce. I understand. You're a rich white guy running your business. I get it. You're trying to hold on to your golden goose just as much as everybody else in this room is trying to hold on to their golden goose. But Canada doesn't look like this room any longer. And the current president of the Windsor Real Estate Association is sitting across the table from me going like this, Brian, I really like you. Because she happened to be a minority woman in the room. She was wondering the same thing. Gee, when's this going to change? So thinking of it that way, that the broker of record model is now gone, it's dying off, you have these companies like Real, where I'm at now, where I had to go. I was comfortable in my broker of record model. I was paying them $25,000, $30,000 a year to stay in that model. But then they booted me. And I stepped over to Real, which is the new way to do real estate, as a realtor. You're your own person over here. As long as it's compliant, you're free to operate. Now, there are little twists and turns depending upon what you want to do. You know, if I wanted to open up an open realty office here in the city of Windsor, I can. I just have to have the office look like what the corporation wants the office to look like, because it's an open office. But if I open up my own team here in Windsor and I want to open up my own team office, free to have that look however I want it to look, because it's my place. It's not their place. It's my place. And maybe at some point in time I do open up an office I don't really need an office necessarily here in the city of Windsor. How many people go to an office to transact real estate? Very few. There's some hybrid concepts that I'm thinking about from my business perspective, but that's why I'm also doing this video. I need your help. So getting back to where this starts, so I need your help. You might need my help too. Might be a good fit. So here at Real, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm figuring out the way to get my phone to ring for real estate. I have built out business models to get that phone to ring. However, I'm just one person. And that's becoming a little bit of a challenge. I have enough work for more people to do. I have enough money in my firm now because of how successful it's become. Smallly successful, trust me. It's only this much success. But this much success in real estate ends up becoming quite a bit of money to be able to rebuild and to be able to reinvest back in your business. So when you're not paying your broker of record $30,000, $35,000 a year of your production, and you're only paying $12,000 a year, you have $20,000 a year to be able to reinvest back in your business. Or keep in your own pocket. Or go on your around the world cruise if you want to. Whatever it is you wish to do. Now, for me, I'm only 57, so I'm still building out my business. So I'm reinvesting that back in my business, which also is kind of reinvesting that back in your business, which is why this video is so important to you. Keep watching. Rewind if you need to, and rewatch. It's okay. That's why it's a video. So, in my business this year, I've done 9 transactions from my estates business. That's 1 transaction a month. This is August. And then I've done 11 transactions from people just knowing me, finding me, that kind of thing. 21 transactions actually per year, this year so far. 2 of them in the United States. The rest in Canada. Because as a real agent, I'm free to operate wherever I want to operate. I'm free to do whatever I want to do. I don't have a limited broker of record that, oh, we only operate in Windsor, Brian. I mean, that's all we do. You can't go over there and you can't go over here. And oh, no, you can across Ontario. But when you're an independent brokerage, that also makes your world very small because you're not a bigger part of something, which is what Real is. Real is the fastest growing non-bricks and mortar real estate company in Canada and the United States. We're adding on advisors all across Canada and the United States every single day. We now have over 20,000 of us, and we're growing very rapidly. Keep in mind that RE/MAX has about 148,000 RE/MAX agents. RE/MAX's market cap is about $770 million today, roughly. Real has 20,000 top producing realtors. And our market cap is closing in at about $1.25 billion today. Think of that. That's where the math makes sense. That's where you want to start. What the heck is Real? EXP, for instance, and I'll use EXP as another example. Their market cap has been shrinking desperately this year as more advisors leave that model because they ran into some internal things going on that are not pleasant. And people are saying, I don't want anything to do with this. I better jump ship. I better rebrand my business. I don't want my business being associated with some of this stuff. So, and that's what I would do if I was over there, I wouldn't be over there. I couldn't stay there based upon some of the stuff that has happened. I'll let you do your own research with all of that. But for me, being at Real has been just completely eye-opening because I fully own my own operation now. And every time I sell a house, I get stock. I buy stock at a discount. The stock has gone up about 350% so far this year. That's not the reason to be here, by the way. It's not. It's to be your own person. But it's sure a nice added benefit. Seeing that in the 2.5 years I've been here now, I have about 30,000, well, about $28,000 of stock so far. It's piling up in the corner. Okay, great. Thank you very much. It's nice to have. That's $10,000 a year of money that just gets accumulated. You don't get that in a broker of record model. They keep that money per year for them. That's why they don't want the room to change. But that's why the government of Canada will eventually step in and say, no, enough's enough. This room has to change. It's what they did in Ontario. Sent a shot across the bow. Look, it's changing. So we're always in this world of change, wherever you're at in this. So for me, I recognize the change with my ADHD. I recognize that I'm free to do more with my ADHD. And I realize I'm only one person. And I want to give more to more people. Because this is a great business. It's an amazing business. Helping people. So at the end of the day, where I'm at with my practice, and part of the reason for this video here in the city of Windsor is for any realtor out as far as Chatham. I don't care where you're at. When I have might be in the United States watching this video. I want to have a conversation with you about the freedom of Real. I want to have a conversation with you about the great things that we're doing and the great people that I work with every single day. That I can reach out to and say, hey, do you have a minute? Can I schedule a little bit of your time? Because you're doing X. And I'm doing X too in my own market, but I want to learn more. I want to learn more about what you're doing. So that there might be some things that I can implement in my own practice here at Real in Windsor. And I help other people across the country as well too. There's people as far as Florida and South Carolina that I'm helping with their estates business. It's what it is. While I'm helping the people of the city of Windsor. Because we can multitask and we can do multiple things. So now I'm ready. I have money built up in my business to be able to support more. It just is what it is. The business has grown over time. And making that move to Real has been just a blossom in the bank account. Why? Because at Real, when we cap, so I only have to give Real $12,000 a year. That's it. When we cap at that $12,000, then we make 100% of every transaction. 100%. My closes this week all paid at 100%. I've capped. My anniversary date is April 1st. By August 9th, I had capped. I had paid the $12,000. So now until April 1st of next year, I get 100% of every real estate transaction minus a processing fee and a brokerage fee. There's a small fee in there. I want to say it's $350. Who cares? Doesn't matter. It's just another business expense. It is okay. And when you're at 100%, you want some business expenses to try to lower that tax basis. Even if you're incorporated, you still are looking at expenses. So at the end of the day, looking at expenses, that's where I'm at with this as well too. It all kind of conspires together to this video. So keep watching the video. You'll know where I'm going to here in a second. So in my own business, I have this cornucopia of success from hard work. So what I did was I launched my estates business. I went back to not university, but to different classes and earned more designations. And I'm building out those designations into business models. It's what you're supposed to do with designations. You're supposed to be investing in them. Getting them is one thing, but building them into a business model is what you're supposed to be doing next when you get a designation. You're not just supposed to go get a designation and put that on your business card and say, congratulations, I got this designation. No, you're supposed to create revenue with your designation, which is what I'm doing. I'm creating peripheral revenue, which is leading to my real estate revenue. And let me explain. So those of you watching might not know that I am a certified contents appraiser. Those of you watching might not know that I'm also have an auction wing to my business. That wing is going to be growing as well too as we step into next year. Building that model out as fast as I possibly can. Seems like it's taking forever, but it's what it is in Windsor business. It takes forever. Trust me. I'm an old guy. It's going to take forever. But I'm getting there one step at a time. So, in this year's revenue, my side businesses, my other hustles, if you will, my other business units, my estates cleanout business, my estates auction business, my estates sale business, have all helped me to get my phone to ring and to do 9 real estate transactions that I wouldn't have otherwise had this year. So those other business models are generating revenue too, by the way, about $3,000 roughly per month of revenue now. They've built up to about $36,000 a year. That's a good side gig, I think you'd agree. And I believe that every realtor needs side gigs. Windsor's a small town. There's no reason you can't be doing a whole hell of a lot of real estate and have other things, as long as your family allows you to do that. I have a wonderful spouse that allows me to just be me. And I'm constantly asking, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Why don't we do this other thing? I don't understand. And when I sit down with the other real people here in the city of Windsor, they're like, that's a good idea, Brian. We never really thought about that. I just called Chris Ramatar today. Said, hey, Chris, and he was up in, he was up north someplace with his family. And I said, hey, I just wanted to run this by you. Oh, hey, great, Brian. And I said, we all need to get together now that there's 3 or 4 reels here in the city of Windsor. We all need to get together. We all need to sit down in the same room, and we all need to be able to start helping each other. But trying to get that to happen is also very difficult. So I'm just going to build it myself because I can. That's what this video is all about. You're still watching along, aren't you? So here's what I need help with. In my head, there's a couple of other things that I want to get launched. My estates business is doing well. I think you'd agree. Having 9 people so far in the first 9 months of the year reach out to do listings with me, and having the opportunity to double end 3 of them is pretty successful. I think you'd find that, gee, that's pretty darn successful, Brian. 1 a month is amazing. 1 listing a month is amazing. And then the other transactions I've done are just people, over time, Brian, hey, we need this help, we need this help, we need this help. 11 of those. Okay, fine. It's all good. To conspire to be, maybe it's not 11, maybe it's, I forget exactly what it is, but it's 21 closes so far this year. 21 closes, 3 of them double end. So 19 closes. That's where the 19 comes from. 9 from the estates business, and the other 10 from just people reaching out and saying, hey, Brian, we know you're a realtor. We need your help. Okay, great. No problem. Have you help? All good. And only 2 of them were purchases so far this year. I'm working on a couple more. We'll see where they go. But I'm kind of all out of purchases too. I have a lead that just came across one of my channels yesterday. I'll catch up with her. Tried to reach her yesterday. She didn't call me back. I'll reach back out to her today. I will get a hold of her. And we will have conversation. And I will list her house. And I will help her with what she's asking me to help her with. Because that's what I do for a living. So where I'm going to with this is that I believe there's plenty of space for you to do 20 and 30 transactions per year. You just need some help to be able to understand what it is for you that you'd like to do, what part of this market you would like to be in. And it may be in my part of the market. There's more than enough space. The part of the market I'm targeting right now with the estates business is $20 million a month. And I'm only capturing about 6% of that right now. Next year, I might have 12% of that next year. The year after, I might be to 20%, and that's really what my goal is, 20% of $20 million. $4 million a month. There's plenty of space for me to get there. At 3%, 20 million, 20% of 20 million is 4 million a month at 3 times, or at 3%. It's a pretty good income for the city of Windsor. And that's where I'm going to. I want to get there before I'm 60. That's where you help as well, too. But there's other things that I also want to get launched in the city of Windsor. And I do have 2 employees now. I'm probably going to be hiring another employee unless I can find some realtors who want to work. And we can talk about those things that I want to get launched when we meet. There's some very targeted, very specific things, because when you target and look at very specific things in this market, you can find opportunity for yourself. Niches, in essence. And if you had a person like me coaching you on the niches, who's been successful in niches, and is willing to invest in you, maybe that's the conversation we have. Hey, Brian, you want to invest in this other thing. You don't have time to get going on that thing. I would like to step in and I would like to get going on that thing, and I'll have your investment in that thing. Okay, let's talk. It's the whole reason for this video. If you're hungry, if you're ready to break free from the broker of record model, to break out of that Korea model of just being controlled by rich white males. If you're ready to break free from that, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to help, because that's the one thing that I can do in that room, is help you break free from that until the government of Canada steps in and breaks you free yourself. We're getting there. It's happening. It's where real comes in. All those people in that room are just pissed off with real too. It's like, I'm with real. Oh shit, Brian. That's what I heard. Where are you at? I'm with real. Oh shit. Because real is itself. Real is the competition in that room. It's what we are. So at the end of the day, the rest of this video is just that. If it can help you in some way, if you're ready to have some of those conversations, reach out. We'll go have coffee. I need some realtors who want to work, to be honest with you. There's some great concepts that I have that I would like to get launched in the city of Windsor that I know would be exceptionally successful to get a phone to ring. I'm only one person, though. and I need some other, I don't care if you want to come over onto my team. Okay, fine. I'm ready for that. Because then together I'll invest in launching it. I'm just going to want a cut of it. And it's not going to be a 60-40. If anything, it'll be the other way around, 60% for you and 40% for me, and I'll be the investor. As long as you want to work, as long as you're working, as long as you're out there doing it, it will be successful. As long as you're applying, as long as you have a guy behind you saying, yeah, let's just keep working on this. Can I come out with you to drive more business? Because I'll also be doing my own thing. I'm also growing my business in the estates business. And you might also be able to help me some in the estates business for an hourly wage as well, too, to help bridge some of those gaps, because I've got employees that earn hourly wages in my estates business. Maybe you want to do a little bit of that. Hey, Brian, I don't really have anything going on today. I've got this covered, that covered, that covered. I'd like to come over and help you on Lillian clean up mouse poop. Okay, great. You'll earn an hourly wage. Come on over. The more the merrier. The faster the project gets done, then the more opportunity we have to be able to be out there finding the next opportunity. Not a problem. Or meeting the neighbors. Or double ending this listing. Or working on social media marketing for this. Or doing whatever we need to otherwise be doing. So I do need that help now. I'm to that point. I do have a young gentleman that works with me who's just starting his 5 classes, just out of full transparency. And as you know, just starting your 5 classes, it takes a long time to get through. So I do need that help now. My spouse is going to be retiring next year and joining the family business, but doesn't want to do the transaction of real estate. Wants to do all the other peripheral things, possibly. Find their niche, possibly, in the family business, and there's plenty of space in the family business for that to happen, but not compete against you. You're the salesperson. It's the help that I need. You're the person driving around passing out the flyers, talking about programs that we're getting launched. Now, I've got Adam over at Media Duo helping me with the print media stuff, and there's some things I would like to get launched, and that's why I'm doing this video. So if you're a realtor here in the city of Windsor who would like to have some conversations about being an entrepreneur, about about understanding that, wait a second, stock options, Brian, you talked about stock options. You've got stock options. You've got, after 2.5 years in the business, you've got $30,000 in the corner of stock options. How do I do that? I don't have any. I've been over at XYZ brokerage here in the city of Windsor for the last 3 years, and I don't have anything, Brian. How do I do that? Let's have those conversations. That's what I'm here for. If you're someplace else, if you're in Denver, Colorado right now, and saying, I wouldn't mind understanding a little bit more, give me a jingle. More than happy to have those conversations and some videos with you. 519-995-6145, 519-995-6145. I'm Brian. I'm here in the city of Windsor. There's other things I want to get launched. My business is doing pretty damn well, and it's time for me to help other realtors. I know it now. I'd like to help you in some way. Don't hesitate. 519-995-6145. Feel free, send me smoke signals, carrier pigeons, texts. Don't care. How can I help? Have a great day. Bye-bye.